I'm Brooklyn,
And I'm Anthony,
and you're listening to Graham's Porch Podcast.
Our podcast will cover various topics, ranging from celebrity news, movies, music, family, and anything in between. No topic is off limits.
So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and join us on the porch.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Graham's Porch Podcast, Episode 3. We are your hosts, Brooklyn.
And Anthony.
And yeah, welcome back to another episode.
Brand new week.
Yep, brand new week.
Brand new week. Brand new dollars.
Brand new opportunities.
Brand new dollars? What am I talking about?
All jokes aside for just a moment, we just want to give a little PSA that this episode is going to be a little bit on the heavy side. We're going to be hitting on mental health and talk about my coming out story. So if you're not ready for the heaviness of it, then skip this one. Come back and give this episode a listen, because I think the things that we talk about could help you guys out and maybe help you cope with what you're dealing with in life, because times are tough out there, and I think that we're all dealing with some kind of mental stuff, and the world is just heavy, and yeah, this is something that we've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I think it'll be good to just kind of get it off our chests, and if it helps you guys in the process, then that's even better.
Yeah, I mean, because it's good to know that you're not the only one dealing with shit like that.
Exactly.
No, I guess a lot of times you feel like you're the only one, like, oh, why is this happening to me, and why do I gotta go through this? But if you take a step back and realize, like, there's hundreds and thousands of other people going through the same shit you are. You know, you're not alone in whatever battle you're fighting.
Yep. So for those that, want to reach out and know that there's someone out there that could, I guess, relate on these things, you could reach out to us on our Instagram at Graham's Porch, or send us an email to grahamsporchpod@gmail.com, and just know that you guys aren't alone. So without further ado, let's just get into the episode. Whew.
Amen.
Of course, we gotta hit our hot topic of the week. I just found this out this morning. Margot Robbie is pregnant. How cute.
I don't even like her.
Okay, so I haven't seen, I was so against the Barbie movie for such a long time. I'm like, that movie's gonna be fucking stupid. But then I actually watched it
You barely watched it?
Yeah, 3 months ago. And I was actually like, oh my god, this is actually so good. Now I can see why they won a lot of Oscars and
I'm not gonna lie, I've
awards.
seen the movie. I didn't think it was all that.
I thought it was it was better than I expected, because I thought it was gonna be super cheesy and just dumb, but it actually had a good message to it.
Yeah, I guess I could stand behind it.
If you hear airplanes in the background, Anthony lives by the airport, so these mofos
They be flying all day. They got some fucking nerve.
I don't know if you watch Riverdale or not, but Tony Topaz from the show, also known as Vanessa Morgan in real life, she's pregnant with her second baby. Do you know who she is?
I've definitely heard the name before, but I have no clue who she is.
I'm happy for her, because her last pregnancy, she got married, and then they announced that they were pregnant, and literally a day after she announced that she was pregnant, her husband filed for divorce.
Oh my god.
And then he I don't know.
What a pimp.
No! That's mean.
I know, I'm kidding. That's fucked up.
And I don't know. There was rumors that he doesn't see the son that they have together, but he's playing daddy to kids that are not even his. But this new guy that Vanessa Morgan is with, he seems like a good dude. I mean, He could pass for the son's dad. He's a basketball player. Don't know who he is. Definitely not NBA.
Yep. So he's relevant. Relevant in my books. If you can't even find him on the internet, you're irrelevant.
I'm sure you can. I just
search my name up. You'll find it.
Your arrest record doesn't count. I'm just kidding. He's never been arrested.
I've never even been pulled over.
Knock on wood. Yes. What else is out there in La La Land?
Anybody die this week? Nope. Nobody important.
Wow. Oh, Chiquis Rivera got married today or this weekend.
Oh, poor thing.
She looks so beautiful.
I'm just kidding.
She's so beautiful. Congrats to her and her husband Emilio.
Was it Emilio with the I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like Emilio?
Oh no, it's E.
Oh.
Emilio.
Well, usually like E. Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, E comes before the I, except after
I
the
before
O
E,
and
except
O
after C.
the...
I before E, except after C.
What? Except after C?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention in school. That's what they said. Fuck, there was a movie that I wanted to talk about.
Ooh, have I seen it?
I remembered.
I remember.
Because we didn't talk about it last week, but they're making a Freaky Friday 2. They just started shooting.
Oh, yes.
I'm so excited.
Man.
I'm so excited. Like, I think the whole, like, original cast is going to be in it.
Even the grandpa?
I don't know if he's alive.
I was going to say that. I was like, he might be dead.
I don't know. But I'm so excited. Like, I love that Lindsay Lohan, like, she had her rough 20s. But she's thriving. She looks amazing. She's married. She's a mom. It looks like she, like, worked things out with her family because they were beefing, like, hardcore.
Yeah. And she worked things out with her plastic surgeon, too.
No. She's living the high life. She, like, married a billionaire and they live in, like, freaking Dubai and shit.
Well, damn. Maybe I need to marry a billionaire.
Me too. If there is any lesbian billionaires out there, let me know.
Yeah, me too.
But no, I'm so excited for that movie. I think it's already, like, slated to come out, like, next year.
Alright, I have a question and it just made me think of it because...
Okay.
Alright, let's say you had a significant other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody with a lot of money reaches out to them and says, "Hey, I just want to see your boobies one time."
Flash them babies, girl. Flash
I was gonna say, I said, girl, you better get to work.
Yeah, flash those suckers. And then we could go on a nice vacation.
Yeah, take one for the team. Do something.
Shoot, I'd show my moon balloons for, I don't know.
Honestly, I could use about $150. Oh, what could that get me? Like,
that sounds like gunshots and not fireworks.
no, those are little fireworks.
I hope so. Anywho,
we're in the burbs.
Yeah, that's very true.
Fuck, now they know where I live.
Just that you live in the burbs. There was another movie that they just wrapped up, Moana 2. I don't understand. How are you going to make a fucking live action Moana
gonna say that,
and then come out with the second Moana? Makes no sense, but yeah, they just finished wrapping it. And
is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson going to be in the fucking live action as Maui?
Yes, which I think is stupid.
Yeah, everybody else is getting casted different than their voice actor. Like,
Why couldn't
It's
he?
not like Auliti Carvalho could fucking come out and play Moana in the live action.
She's a producer and I think a director of the
And a
movie.
baddie.
She is a baddie.
I love her name.
Auliti
Yeah.
Carvalho. Are you sure those are not gunshots?
No, because you hear the at the end of it.
Oh my god. So the 4th of July happened. And, bro, we almost got blown up by a fucking firework.
Yeah, it was
Literally,
one of those little oopsies moments.
I posted it on my Snapchat. I'll post it on the Grams Porch. Yeah. I'll post it on the Grams Porch Instagram. But literally, if I wouldn't have moved like towards the wall of the house like 2 seconds earlier, I would have gotten that shit blown up in my face. Not even joking. I hate 4th of July. I hate fireworks. They're so dangerous. And Anthony just thought it was so funny just to be throwing fucking those little fucking, I don't even know what they are, over my head.
One of these?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I don't even like the little poppers.
Those ones that I was throwing.
Yeah.
Was
cherry bombs?
I don't know what they're called. They look like little TNTs. They look like a little dynamite.
I think they are cherry bombs.
But they're literally just adult versions of the little poppers.
But a couple of them rolled underneath your car, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just waiting for that thing to just go boom!
Ooh, speaking of my car and 4th of July.
What?
This is supposed to be a private conversation thing, but I guess we'll talk about it on the pod.
Oh, Lord. What?
Somebody hit the car. The black car.
With a firework?
With a car.
What?
Yeah. There's a little dent right here, like in the front.
Uh-huh. Are you sure it wasn't from a firework?
No, I'll show you tomorrow.
Because a couple of them, like, literally rolled right under the car, and I was just like...
No, it definitely looks like a dent and a scratch from a car. A blue car. Who else has a blue car? I'm about to start doing some investigating, because... At least leave me a note. Say, hey, sorry I fucked up your hoopty.
It's not a hoopty.
Well, now it is.
Ugh.
What am I supposed to tell insurance?
Nothing. Can't do anything about a little baby dent. Then you have to pay your deductible, and that's like $500. That's just...
Yeah, that's $500 I don't got.
Exactly. Oh my god, speaking of 4th of July. Of course, there's people that just, have no common sense when it comes to fireworks safety. And this dude freaking shot one off of his head. And he's muerte. In front of his family. Like, put a firework on top of his head and shot it off, and it, like, blew off his skull.
Oh my god.
And I saw
my dad died because he was trying to be cool.
Dude, and he was, like, legit in, like, red, white, and blue, like, flag overalls and all that.
Well, I guess that's the American way to go out.
I guess.
And the bombs burst in air, you feel me?
Like, come on, just... Your poor children had to see that.
Yeah.
And I saw some dude, another video on TikTok. He was holding one, like, in a pipe thing, like, in his hand, and they were like, oh, it's just one that, like, shoots off in the air, like, it doesn't do anything else. Like, I don't even know what the fuck those are called. Our cousin's husband had one, and he was, like, running up and down the street, like...
Yeah. Like a little Olympic runner with the torch.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. But they told him, like, get one like that. No, and it blew off his hand.
Oh my god.
But his friends knew that it was one that actually, like, blew up and still let him hold it in his hand.
They should all pop off one of those little TNTs in there, but...
Yeah.
Like, line them up, stick one in each end, and fuse them all together, and light one fuse, and it just trails on down. Pop, pop, pop. Pop in each other's
They wouldn't be
asshole.
my friends no more.
No, but speaking of firework mishaps, did you see those little kids that fucking set the whole town on fire? Or like a whole house or some shit?
No.
So these little kids were playing with fireworks, and it was on somebody's Ring camera.
Mm-hmm.
But like they came knocking on the house, like screaming like for help. Come to find out that they set off a firework in the field or whatever, and the whole fucking thing lit up.
Their parents are gonna be paying until they're like.
Well, I honestly think they killed somebody.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for hot topics. Just for future, like, reference for 4th of July, just be a little bit smarter with lighting fireworks and shit.
Yeah, just think about what the fuck you're doing.
Or just go, play it safe and just watch, like, at a baseball game or.
Nah, those ain't even safe no more. Did you see them ones in the stadium?
No.
There was a whole stadium one too.
Oh,
the
no.
Fireworks were flying up.
Okay, just
and then
watch.
all of a sudden they started going towards the crowd and shit. Like little missiles.
I liked where we watched the fireworks.
Yeah, we're like really far
like
away.
way far. Next year I'm just watching them from like YouTube at my house.
Just on your TV.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Like those little ambiance videos.
Yeah.
Just have a fireworks show.
Exactly. But yeah, we're gonna switch gears now and get a little bit more serious, and there may be some laughs, probably a lot of cries, I don't really know. But yeah, it's gonna get heavy. If you're not ready to hear that, get away and then come back when you guys feel like you could listen, I guess. So I wanted to talk about this like during Pride Month, but it just didn't work out that way. And I had some people like asking about like my coming out story and stuff. Whew. So like for me, I've always like been told like, oh, it's just a phase, like you'll grow out of it and all this stuff. But like for me, I knew like at a really young age that I liked girls like more than boys. Like in elementary school, I think that's when like a lot of kids start like, oh, that girl's cute or that boy's cute, like start developing crushes and stuff.
Yeah.
And while like the other girls were like crushing on the boys in class, I was crushing on my para teacher. Like I remember her name. Her name was Mrs. Roybal. She's the reason why I still love Victoria's Secret, Love Spell, and what the fuck is that other one? The purple one. Love Spell.
I wouldn't even say her name because you're causing a case for her.
It's not like in. Bro, this was like 79 years ago.
It's alright.
Anyway, but she's the reason why I like love those smells still, and like Love Spell and Pure Seduction, because she wore those two all the time. And like I really loved basketball and stuff, and I just remember like in elementary just like fucking like I was really good back in the day at basketball. Like half court shots just because I knew she was watching. I'm not even kidding. Like, and then like of course you develop like little crushes on like your classmates and stuff. So like at a young age, like elementary school age, I knew like, okay, I'm
like
feeling...
what grade though? Like 5th grade?
Yeah, like 5th grade. Like yeah, probably 5th grade, like right before we went to middle school.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5th grade. I don't know how old that is, but it's young. And like I've always been like tomboy, like I've always loved jeans and like jerseys and Jordans and Nikes. Like I was never girly at all. When I could like choose what I wore and like how I
Yeah.
And my mom hated it. Like I'd go to school with like a Nuggets jersey and like the sweatband on the arm and like I thought I was a shit. And then like going into middle school, those are like the days when you really like kind of find yourself a little bit more. Like you start dating and Like, I had the biggest fucking crush on, like, my best friend at the time, and it broke my soul. She would, like, literally take my phone to, like, text her boyfriend for, like, a class period, and then I get the phone back, and I was just like, wow. If you only knew how much I, like, really liked you.
Yeah.
Like, it just sucked. And that never went away. Like, even up until, like, we were in high school, like, we started going to, like, different high schools and stuff, and I've never let my feelings be known that I liked her and stuff, because I just didn't want to ruin the friendship. And then you get into high school, and those were the days of, like, MySpace, and, like, when you were bored on the weekends, I wish MySpace was, like, a thing now, because, like, when you were bored, they'd have, like, these quizzes that you could, like, fill out, and it'd be just, like, dumb shit, like, what's your full name? Who's the last person you texted? What's your favorite movie? Like, just shit for, like, your friends to just, like, oh, I'm gonna read your answers, and I'll copy and paste, and, like, fill out my own thing or whatever. And then, like, freshman year, I don't think I ever acted upon anything. And then, like, sophomore year, I don't know what it is with my cousin and her best friends that I just, like, really was into. And there was my cousin's best friend.
A?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, best friend who? Oh!
Yeah.
Wait, do I remember her?
I think so. She was at a couple things.
I remember her, I think. No, there was one of her friends I really loved.
So, yeah. Me and one of my cousins went to the same high school, and she was a year older than me. And I didn't have friends my age. Like, all of my friends were older and stuff, and, like, I just took, like, a really big interest in one of her best friends. And I think that's when I started, like, really dealing with, like, coming to terms with, like, my sexuality. We've talked about, like, just being raised Christian and being in church, and, like, having that kind of drilled into our head that, you know, being gay is a sin and it's wrong and you're gonna go to hell for it. And I just remember, like, so many years of my life just freaking, like, laying in bed at night and just, like, praying, like, why? I'm already gonna start crying. Like, why do I feel like this if it's wrong?
Yeah.
Like, why do I look at girls and, like, feel the way that I do when I know that it's wrong? Like, that's just being drilled into my head, and, like, just praying, like, you know, let me look at a boy and feel the same way. And that would never happen and stuff. So, like, high school, I think I finally, like, came to terms with, like, this is just me. Like, I saw so many, like, lesbian girls in school, and, like, them being comfortable in their own skin to, like, be who they are and stuff. And, like, I admired the fuck out of that. Like, okay, if they could do it, so could I. And so, like, my cousin's friend, me and her, like, started hanging out, like, skipping class, and, like, I'd go to her house and we just, like, hang out and talk and text all the time. And I remember it was, like, in October, and the Rockies were in the playoffs for the World Series, and our school had like, a watch party one day after school. And I remember me and this girl, like, made plans, like, we're gonna watch the Rockies game, and then we'll, like, go to the movies after, because that was, like, our thing to do. Like, we'd always go to the movies on Friday and Saturday nights and see a movie, or we'd just, like, hang out and walk across the street to go to Chipotle or to, like, Cold Stone and all that. Like, that was just our thing, like, that we did with our group of friends. And so, like, I remember asking Mom, like, can I stay to watch the Rockies game, and then we're gonna just walk down to the movie theater, because it wasn't really that far from school. And she's like, yeah. So, like, me and her kind of, I think we're, like, you know, at that stage of, like, kind of teetering, like, are we dating, are we not? And we were there together, and I just remember, like, my phone just, like, blowing up, like, vibrate after vibrate after vibrate, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I like kept looking, and it was mom blowing up my phone. So I like texted her, I'm like, Mom, I'm still at the school, like we're watching the game, and she's like, answer your fucking phone. And I was like, what the hell? Like, so I go outside and I tell we'll just call her A. I'm like, A, I'll be right back. Like, my mom's blowing up my phone. I need to see what she wants. So then she's like, okay. And she actually came outside with me, and like, I call mom, and she's just like yelling at the top of her lungs, like, I'm on my way to fucking pick you up. And I'm like, Mom, like, you already knew, like, we were gonna watch the game and we're gonna go to the movies. She's all, no, I'm picking your ass up now. You better fucking be outside. And like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, she's all, don't fucking worry about it. I'm almost there. So I was like pissed off, and I just told A, like, my mom, I don't know what's going on with her, but she's on her way to pick me up. She sounds pissed. And she's like, well, what do you think it is? And I'm like, I don't know. So she waited out there with me until mom picked me up, and like, my mom, when she's mad, she just has like this look on her face of like
evil.
Yeah. That's literally how it looked. And I was just like, what? Like, what? Like, why did you ruin the plans? Like, you knew that all week. Like, I would always skip school and stuff, but I knew, like, if there was stuff that I really wanted to do, like, I'd go to class all week long, so I wouldn't get no, like, freaking phone calls at home. So I was, like, doing good the whole week, and I'm like, I know it can't be school. Yeah. And so she, like, starts driving back home, and I'm, like, mad. I'm like, why did you pick me up? And I just remember her pulling out, like, a stapled, like, thing of papers, and she, like, smacked me in the face with it. She pulls it out from, like, the side door, smacks me in the face with it, and was like, fucking read that. And I'm like, what? And she's like, read it. So I, like, undo it, and it's my MySpace page. And it's printed out, and it's fucking stapled.
Printed it all out?
Yes. And it was a quiz. Like, there was a couple quizzes that I had did, like, the night before. And there was, like, questions like, who's the last person you thought of? And I was like, her. And, like, the fucking, like, weird way that we did, like, a heart. It was, like, the less than sign, like, a 3. Or something weird like that. And I'm like, her. And who was the last person you text? And it was her. Like, I never put A's name on it or anything. And I just referred to her all the time, like, during that thing. And, like, oh, like, it was just weird fucking, it was just a random quiz that I did because I was bored the night before. And it was, like, all printed out, and it was, like, a couple of them and some other posts that I made. And they were all printed out and stapled together. And I'm just like, how the fuck did she get this? Like, she doesn't know how to work MySpace. And I'm like, how did you get this? And she's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no. She's like, we're going to talk about it when we get home. And I remember you weren't home. I think you were with Dad. And so we get into the house, and she's like, sit your ass down. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, well, how did you even get this? And she's like, no. And it was, like, literally highlighted. Like, all the times that I spoke about her was highlighted.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, who the fuck would do that? Like, I know my mom can't get on MySpace, so someone did it.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, Uncle gave me these. And I'm like, Uncle who? And she says my uncle's name. I'm not going to put his name in. But, yeah, she's like, Uncle gave me these. And I'm just like, well, how did Uncle get these? And she says our cousin's name. And she's like, she was looking at your MySpace last night and printed these out and thought that Uncle should give these to me, and that you, like, I should see them and see the way that you're talking on here. So, like, I was, like, literally outed by a cousin of mine that went and printed out, like, these posts and these quizzes, and then she gave them to her dad to give to my mom. And, like, the fucking, like, betrayal that I felt, and, like, the fear, like, to to be so close to a cousin like that growing up, and to know that they would betray me like that, to literally go and print out these posts and highlight them to out me to my parents. Like, to this day, that cousin is dead to me. Like, fuck her 7,000 different ways. Like, you don't do shit like that. And my mom's like, well, what are you trying to say? And I'm like, well, obviously, if you read them, then you know what I'm saying. And she's like, no, I want you to say it. And I was like, I like girls. Like, I'm gay. Like, and it was like the denial for her. Like, oh, you're young. Like, you're just going through a phase and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not, Mom. Like, I know that I am. Like, this is who I am. Like, there's no changing it. And like, no, you're just confused. It's just a phase. Like, you'll grow out of it. And I'm like, no, I won't. Like, I've felt like this since I was little. Like, it's not. Like, this is who I am. And she just kept denying it and saying it was a phase and getting pissed off. And like, looking back, like, yeah, I was so pissed off at my mom, but I don't really blame her for the way that she reacted. Because I think she would have taken it better if it, like, actually came from me and not from, like, a third party, you know, to just be fucking evil and to print out these things and then show my mom. Like, I wanted to be able to tell her on my own terms. And that just, like, it broke me down. Like, to just have someone, like, not believe you, not take your feelings into consideration, or to try to even understand. Or to say, like, you know, okay, if you are, then, you know, I love you, and or it's gonna take some time for me to come to terms with this. Like, no, it was just straight up denial. And it was like, end of story. Like, that's it. Like, you're fucking grounded. You're not gonna hang out after school. Me or your dad are gonna pick you up. Like, no more going to the movies and stuff. Like, I was on lockdown after that. And that just, like, it broke me, because there was this girl, you know, that I was just genuinely so interested in, and like, we got along so well. And you know, after that, like, things changed with us because I couldn't hang out with her, and eventually she started dating, like, some other girl, and like, that fucking, like, broke me. Because I had to be around her all the time because she was still my cousin's best friend. And to see, you know, her with the girl that didn't treat her right, and, you know, just a toxic relationship, like, it sucked. But that betrayal that I felt from my cousin, like, even now at 31 years old, like, that still has never gone away. Because you see so much of the bad stories now of people, like, coming out, and they're shunned by their families, they're kicked out. Some even, you know, fucking get killed over it, or they kill themselves because their parents, you know, don't accept them. And I'm just like, for my cousin to do that, and for my uncle to do that, like, what if my parents weren't, you know, like, the way that they are? And what if they did fucking throw me out, or beat my ass, or, you know, fucking killed me because I was feeling this way? And I'm just like, that is so shitty to fucking out someone. Because you don't know, you know, how it could go. It could go extremely well, and you have parents that are like, okay, like, I love you anyway. Or it could just be like, you know, you're dead to me, pack your shit and get out of my house. Like, I don't fucking care what happens to you. So after that, like, I remember, you know, being very suicidal at that time, and just being like, you know, if I can't be myself, like, I can't pretend to be someone or something that I'm not. And, you know, it sucked. Like I say, you know, this was a cousin that I was so close to growing up, and just like I just never thought in a million years that she would have done that shit to me, and even to this day to never get an apology for doing that. And then I did take a toll on like my relationship with mom. There was a point where I moved out and I lived with dad for like the rest of my high school life, and I didn't talk to mom for like a year. We'd see each other at like family functions and we wouldn't talk. And it sucked because, like, my mom is my mom. But I learned how to kind of cope with things on my own. Because, dad was the same way. Like, oh, it's just a phase. Like, you're going to grow out of it. You just, pray on it and things will be different.
Mm-hmm.
And with me, like, especially with our dad, like, we have so many aunts that are gay, like, that he's siblings with, like, so 4 of them. He had 4 sisters.
4 out of the 8? Or 7?
4 out of, yeah, like 8 sisters. 7 sisters.
3 boys.
3
3 boys, 7 girls.
Yeah. So 4 out of
the 7 girls in that family
were gay. And I'm like, how are you gonna, judge me on that? Or tell me that it's wrong when you have 7 sisters that are, or 4 sisters that are gay. Like, we have only one of them living now, but she's been with her partner longer than anyone else in our family who's been married.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is, I love looking at them and to see, like, wow, like, you guys went through, like, so much shit and you're still together and you still seem so in love, and, like, that's amazing. Like, I pray that I find that one day. But I think I took it harder, especially knowing that, like, I have so many gay aunts, and, like, how are you going to tell me that it's wrong? Like, do you tell your sisters that it's wrong? Like, do you look at your sisters a certain way because they're the way that they are? Like, I just, even to this day, I still don't understand that. But when I got out of high school and, like, I became an adult and I started, like, working and all that, it was another of my cousin's best friends that I don't really even remember how we even, like, connected. But we'd always see each other at, like, family functions and stuff, and things just kind of naturally developed between us, and started dating when I was 21. She moved in with us. Like, by that time, like, she would come to, like, we'd always have family Bronco parties at her house, and she would always be there with her cousin, and we'd spend, like, time without her around, just me and her, and, like, things just developed naturally, and she'd, like, come to the house and just watch movies on the weekends, or, like, we'd go and get something to eat, and, like, I think mom, like, I was living with mom then, and I think, like, mom could see, like, oh, like, Brooke's out doing more things, like, she's not home all the time, like, she's with N, and, like, they're out just, enjoying life and stuff, and I think, like, she kind of knew without me even saying anything, like, that I was interested in her. And then when I turned 21, I remember, like, just finally, like, being like, okay, like, this is my time to come out on my terms and the way that I want to, and the way that I should have been able to years ago when I was in high school. And I couldn't do it face to face because obviously you just heard, like, I'm a fucking crybaby. Like, I just wanted to be able to get every single thing that I felt off of my chest, and the only way that I felt like I could do it is, like, writing a letter. So I wrote a letter to mom and dad, and I remember leaving it in mom's room, and I went over to dad's house and I left it on his counter, and then me and N went off and did stuff, and we were gone for like a day or two, and we came back, and mom was like, I read your letter, and she's like, are you sure? Like, and I'm like, no, like, I knew when I told you in high school that, like, I'm gay. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know the nights that I cried myself to sleep, and the many times that I prayed that, you know, if it's wrong, then why do I feel like this? If it's wrong, change my heart, make me feel different. And I'm like, and I still feel the same way. So, mom was like, okay, like, if you feel like this is who you really are, then it's gonna take me a little bit to come to terms with it. She's like, but if you're sure, like, you're an adult, and if you're sure about your feelings, then all I could do is accept them. So that was like a weight off of my shoulders to feel like, okay, she accepts me, she like still loves me. Like, it was complete 180 from like high school. And like it was just like, I don't know, just an amazing feeling to just know like, okay, she's cool with it. And obviously, like, I'm very I guess kind of guarded with my feelings. Like, I just think it's respecting, like, with PDA and stuff like that. Like, I don't think you've ever even seen, like, me kiss her, like, or anything like that. Like, I just feel like certain things are just left.
I'm even like that too. Like,
yeah, like, just,
I think we're just raised like that. Don't be making out with somebody out in public. Like,
yeah.
And who wants to see that? That's
yeah. Regardless
like
if it's a man and a woman or whatever. Like, I just feel like
regardless, nobody wants to see you shoving your tongue down somebody's throat.
Yeah. So, you know, those are things that I was like, you know, obviously, and I remember telling mom that, like, you know, I have respect for you and I have respect for myself. You're never gonna see me, you know, kissing all over her or, you know, just being disrespectful or not being respectful of your feelings or anything like that. Like, those things are best left behind closed doors. And she's like, okay, like, that's fine. And so, like, me and were like a lot more free to just be us when we were at mom's house. And, you know, you would always tag along with us to go eat and doing stuff. And eventually, like, I didn't even get to that point to ever ask her. It was our stepdad that was like, well, you're always at the house with Brooke, and like, you're leaving early to go home to get ready for work. Like, why don't you just move in? And that kind of pissed me off because I'm like, oh, why did you ask me? But I was cool with it because I felt the same way. Like, we're always together. You're always sleeping over here. Like, why not?
Yeah.
So, like, to know that our stepdad and our mom was the one that, like, extended the invite to her to move in with us. And she was like, yeah, like, her home situation wasn't good. So she moved in. And I've already talked about that bullshit on a previous episode. But yeah, like, we lived together, she lived with us, brought her around the family. But like, it was different with our dad. Like, I don't think even still to this day, like, he pretends to like not know.
Yeah, he just like turns a blind eye to it.
And I'm just like, if you fucking look at me, you would be like, oh, she's a big time lesbo. Like, I wear fitted hats with every outfit. Like, I remember, it was one of our aunts that had passed away a couple years ago, but she was battling cancer, and she had got into remission, and she had like a big barbecue with her family and friends. And it was the day that Anne moved in with us. And obviously I would like talk about her and stuff on like Facebook and social media, and my aunt saw it, and she was always like so super supportive and just like letting me know like, hey, if you guys want to just come hang out at my house, like you can, like just to let me know like someone's here for you, like that understands you and stuff. And I appreciated that so much. But I went to that barbecue, like just me, you, and Dad. I don't even know if you were there actually. I know that me and Dad were definitely there, but Auntie was like, "Where's your girl?" And she said it like, in front of everyone. Like she didn't like say it low key. Like she was just like, "Where's your girl?" I'm like, "Oh, she's moving her stuff into the house." And she was like, she had, I think, her sister and like a couple of her friends like move her stuff into the house and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna be here for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back to the house and hang out." And she's like, "No, like tell her to come." And I was like, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea." And she's like, then she pulled me aside and she's like, "It's my fucking party. And if I say that she could be here and I want her here, then you tell her to come."
Mm-hmm.
So I remember like calling in and being like, "Babe, like my auntie said like you could come to the barbecue and stuff." And she's like, "Oh, do you think that's a good idea?" And I'm like, "She said like it's her fucking party. Like she wants you to be here." And she's like, "Okay, like if your auntie asked me to be there, then I'm gonna show up." So I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "I'll be there in like 10 minutes." Because I remember the park wasn't far from Mom's at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, I remember her pulling up and like, she parked kind of far away. So I went and like greeted her and like, gave her a kiss, and it was just like, I guess this is it. Like, we're gonna see how the family reacts. Like, and I remember like, it might have been like a fuck up on my end to like walk up with like holding her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like one of our uncles, which was my dad's sister's husband, he like saw us holding hands, and he like flipped out and like got in Dad's face and was like, "I can't believe like you're actually entertaining this. Like, what are you thinking?" And Dad was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like this, like, them being together, like you're entertaining it. And he's like, "I ain't entertaining anything." Like it just started this huge, huge fucking fight. And like I'm embarrassed and I'm hurt because like these are the people that, are supposed to love me the most, and like they're treating me this way. Like I don't know. I still don't understand like how the way that someone chooses to live their life, like that has no effect on you at the end of the day. Like you're not the one fucking sleeping in my bed or sleeping with me or whatever. Like why does it have any effect on your life? Like
Yep.
I don't understand that. And that's how I felt even back then. And like it just turned into this big thing, and like Dad just like turned to me and like was like, "I can't believe you. Like I can't believe you're like this. Like what is wrong with you?" And like he looked disgusted in me, and like that broke my heart because if you know me, like I'm such a daddy's girl. Like my dad is one of my best friends, and to like hear him say like he was disgusted in me, like fucking like broke my soul.
Mm-hmm.
But I stood like headstrong and like head fast, and like I didn't back down. And I was like, if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. Like I wanted N to see like that someone was actually willing to like fight for her and to like fight to show her off and to be like just someone like when the going got tough like that I wasn't gonna run away from anything. Like I was gonna, even if it meant like fighting with my family, like I was gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like that to this day. I feel like, I'm single. I don't really have plans to be in a relationship or anything, but I want my partner to know like my significant other is gonna fight for me and fight for us, and like I'm not just gonna pussy out and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, like
Yeah.
no, like I stood headstrong, and I'm like, if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. Then we don't have to talk. You don't have to love me. I don't know. Like that's something that you're gonna have to deal with. And like I remember Auntie just being like, if you don't fucking like it, if you don't like this, or you don't like them being together, you could leave. I don't want you here.
Mm-hmm.
So like half the party left because it was just like, and I was just like, Auntie, like I'm so sorry, like I'm embarrassed. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like you're my niece. I love you. If this is who you want to be, if this is who you want to be with, I have your back 1,000%. Like you're my niece, and I'm gonna love you regardless. And I know how tough it is to, walk in your shoes because I've been there and I'm still there. And like, she just made me feel so much better. And I remember that night, and I wish I had that fucking voicemail saved, but I remember her calling me, and she was like, fuck the family. Like, if they can't love you, and if they can't, understand you, like, they don't need to be a part of your life, and fuck them. But I'm here for you no matter what, through thick and thin. Like, you're my niece, and I'm always gonna love you, and I'm always gonna have your back and look out for you. And that, like, it meant the world to me. And I remember she passed away like 2-3 years ago. And I remember, when we said our goodbyes to her in the hospital, just telling her thank you. Because I never had that. I never took the opportunity to tell her thank you for, always just making me feel so accepted and loved. And I remember telling her that in her ear, like, thank you. Thank you for being the one that, had my back and, just always looked out for me and loved me regardless. Like, it meant the world to me, and it still does. And, I carry her nickname, with me daily, and I do it with pride. And, it's my way to, thank her for just accepting me and loving me, even when others like turn their backs on me and stuff. But yeah, that's like my coming out story. It was tough, and it sucked, and I lost a lot of people, and I had people that I thought would have my back forever turn their backs on me. But it's made me realize that it doesn't matter how you were raised. It doesn't matter that, things from religious standpoints were drilled into your head. Like, if you're feeling a certain way, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're lesbian, whether you're, trans, nothing like that. It doesn't matter. You fucking be the authentic, genuine person that you are. And if your family doesn't love you, you could always choose a different family. Sometimes the family that you choose are the ones that are going to be the ones that love you regardless. That they're going to be the ones that fight for you, have your back, that treat you better than even your blood family does. And yeah, it's a scary road, and it's hard, and you are going to have to go through your trials and your tribulations. But when you come out on the other end, you're going to be so fucking happy. You're going to feel so free. You're going to feel like, you know what? I don't care if no one likes me, if my family doesn't like me. What can you do? You can't change the way people react to it. You're going to be hurt, but when you're free to be your authentic self, who cares? There's some people that, wait until they're freaking 60, 70 years old to finally be like, I was gay this whole time. Like, I literally saw that on probably TikTok, but they waited until they're like literally on their deathbed, and they were like, I was gay. Like, my friend that you thought was just like my roommate for the last like 60 years was actually my husband. Like, just, don't be afraid to be yourself, to love who you love, because at the end of the day, you have to choose your happiness over feeling anything to
please somebody else.
Yeah, just to please somebody else, live your life. You only have one life to live, and live with it authentically. And if there's anybody out there that is dealing with that, or having a hard time coming to terms with it, or just feel like I need someone to talk to, like I say, I'm not fucking joking. Like, I'm here to listen. I've probably walked in your shoes. I understand where you're coming from, and you could reach out to me and we could talk and just connect. Like, you're not alone. Like, yeah, you might be feeling down in the dumps. You might feel things mentally, emotionally, that you're just like, I don't see how I could come out on the other side. Like, unfortunately, there are those people that are, they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel and they end their lives because of it. But, like, don't give up. Like, life is hard, but it's beautiful when you live life authentically and genuinely. And yeah, like, whew. Told you it was gonna get deep. Like, how do you deal with stuff like with your mental health? Like,
do you want the truth?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to deal with things with my mental health. I think I'm at a point. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. Like, I've come to terms with, like, maybe I do need therapy or some shit like that. But I don't know. I just take it day by day. And some days are better than the others, but it's just I don't know, a daily
grind, daily struggle.
Yeah, it's just like, if I have a good day today, then that's good, and if I have a bad one, then hopefully tomorrow's better. I guess that's my way of looking at things. Is like, and today fucking sucked and broke down. I don't know how many times, but hopefully tomorrow's better than today was.
I think you do need to be in therapy if you feel like, I mean, no one else knows your mind better than you.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're at that point, like,
and that's the shitty part too. Is like, your mind, like, you could be the best person in the world, but what you're thinking in your head is what makes you. I don't know. I just feel like you're in control of the things you feel, I guess, without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm like, oh man, I'm sad today, like, then I take that and I fucking keep that all day.
Instead of being like, okay, I'm sad right now, but how could I make my day better?
Yeah. Where was I going with that?
About therapy? Like, knowing that you should be in it? Because, I mean, we've hit that, like, a couple, like, I don't know, an episode or two ago of, like, it's a taboo thing to, like, especially as a man, to talk about their feelings and to be like, oh, I'm depressed right now. Like,
yeah.
And like I said, like, just because you're a man doesn't mean, like, you don't have emotions. Like, you're supposed to just be this robot that just goes hard for their family and stuff,
and
like,
I
24/7.
When people stay stuck in that mindset, like, they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and they finally reach that limit, and you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like when you realize that, like, when you get to that point, like, I don't know, like, not suicidal, like.
Because can I be honest with you for like a minute? Some of the stuff that I see, like, you repost on like your TikTok and stuff, like, it does freak me out because I see like the dark shit that you repost, and I'm just like, is this like truly how he's feeling right now? And like he doesn't say anything, like,
Yeah.
Like it scares me because I like, do my best to be there for you and to talk to you and to let you know, like, hey, if you need to fucking get away from the wife and kids, like, you could always come to our house, or, just be like, hey, can you come on a drive with me? Like, I'm gonna go pick you up, like,
Yeah.
or let's just go to dinner together, like, because I don't ever want you to get to that point where you feel like.
And that's why I feel like now I'm coming to those terms, like, something's not right in my head.
Yeah.
And I do need to, I guess, talk about what's going on. Not even talk about it, but like
do something about it.
Yeah, just do something about it. Figure out, like, why the fuck do I think these things? And like I said, I don't even know if this is like I'm not suicidal. I don't sit here and think about, like, how am I gonna kill myself and when am I gonna do it? What am I gonna do? But I just feel like I'm at a point in life where, like, if something happens, not that I would intentionally do it to myself, but I'm saying, like, if I get in a wreck and die, like, oh wow.
That breaks my heart to hear. Like, your husband and your dad and your brother and a son, like, yeah. I feel like it's time for you to get into therapy.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I think it takes courage and just knowing yourself to be like.
That's why I'll, openly say, like, there's nothing wrong with looking for help.
No.
Because I don't want to get to that point where I
just couldn't handle it anymore.
I don't know. But I just feel like there's other people out there that need to hear, like, you know what? It's not worth taking your own life to, because I don't know if this is like a bad or good thing to say, but like, when you take your own life, then you're putting that on somebody else too, because
your parents, your family.
Yeah, like, oh, why didn't I see that? And
yeah,
why didn't they tell me and stuff like that? But I feel like if you get to a point like that, or you just, you're like, why am I so unhappy? Like, I don't really have a reason to be this way or whatever. Like,
yeah. Like, we've even had a cousin that she's been open about it. She's like, for the longest time, like, I looked at therapy like, ew, like, why would you want to go tell a stranger, like, how you're feeling? And then she just started going to therapy, and she's like, dude, I feel like our whole family needs to be in therapy, like, because we've all been through something.
And that's the thing, everybody has been through something.
Yeah.
Everybody has reached a low point in their lives, and I guess it's just, if you feel like you need to talk about it, then go do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point I'm at, is like, because I've always been that way too. Like, why would I go to therapy? There's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah. And I
don't need to take all these medications and do this and that. Like,
and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you just by going to therapy. I think you're just taking the bull by the horns, I guess, and just being like, something doesn't feel right. Like, like you say, why am I always so fucking sad? And I shouldn't be sad. Like,
yeah, like, you know, if your stomach's hurting and something, like, are you gonna sit at home and wait till you fucking die with it, or are you gonna go to the hospital and see what's going on with you?
yeah, like, oh, I've been dealing with this for like 20 years. Okay, well, if you've been dealing with it for 20 years, you should go get it checked out and be like, why the fuck am I feeling like this?
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think therapy would be good for me. Like, I know that I feel like sometimes your brain, like when you go through something like fucking traumatic, like it, and I've heard of it before, like you go you go through something traumatic and your brain like blocks that moment or whatever like out of your mind so that you don't think about it, that it doesn't like fucking just affect you every single day. And I think like I've been through something like that and I feel like my brain blocked it cuz like it'll come to me every now and then and I'm just like, okay, I'm getting bits and pieces of it, but my brain is just like,
see, I feel like for me, like, a lot of my childhood I don't remember, so I'm like, is something wrong with
like a coping mechanism or like something like that.
I don't know.
I'm all, like I say, I'm all for you to be in therapy and to, because I know that you're not like that. Like, you're fucking funny and like you make me laugh and
I try to be.
it makes me sad when I see you posting stuff like that. Or to know that you're feeling a certain way and like, as your big sister, like, I've always made it my job to be able to protect you from everything. Like I said in my fucking best woman speech, like I made it my job to protect you from like the ugliness of the world and stuff. And like it hurts me. Like I don't know how to help you get out of like your headspace right now. Like you have so much to like be thankful for and to like look forward to. Like you're newlywed, you have two little ones. Like first, like I always say, like if you aren't good enough, like if you're not good for yourself right now, you can't be good for anyone else.
Yep.
If you're not good for you, you can't be good for your wife, you can't be good for your kids, and they need you just as much as you need them. I need you, our parents need you.
I need me too, bro.
Yeah, you need, like I say, like first and foremost, for anyone, you need you.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be afraid to talk about your feelings or to admit, like, yeah, I'm not good right now.
Because even, like, we went to a little carnival thing the other day.
Mm.
And one of our friends, I almost said his name. I think you know where yeah. He's like, Anthony, what's going on? And I'm like, what? He's like, I know you. And I'm like, yeah, I know you too. Like, he's like, no, I know you. And he's like, something's wrong. I was like, geez, like, is it that obvious?
Yeah.
But like now that people around me are starting to notice, I'm like, I don't know where I start, but I gotta start somewhere.
Well, you could call her cousin and be like, hey, how did you find your therapist? And I think that's a shitty part of like living in America is like if you don't freaking have like insurance that'll cover that, like then are we gonna be?
You know what? I wonder if my insurance does.
You have good insurance, so it might.
Because if they don't, I'm not fucking doing no.
Shut up.
I'm not doing no therapy. I'll look up some like meditation videos or something on YouTube.
You can look up BetterHelp.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Use a coupon code.
We'll see how. If I get like 3 free sessions, that's probably all I need. I just need somebody to say, hey, you know what? You dealt with this when you were younger, or you dealt with this in your life. That's why you're fucked up in the head.
I don't know. But yeah, you gotta start somewhere. Like I say, if it's just going to therapy or finding like that person that's, if you don't feel comfortable opening up to your family, like to find a friend and be like, hey, can I lay some shit on you?
Yeah.
Like I think I pride myself on being that person for like, my friends. Like they're always like, how are you so good giving advice? I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't sugarcoat things. I don't say things to just be like, well,
It's like spare your feelings.
yeah, to spare your feelings, because that's not going to do any good. Like, you need someone to be like, okay, you're in the wrong right now, or, whatever the case may be. But I've always prided myself on being able to be like, hey, if you're going through some shit, like, let me know. Like, I'm here for you. And I mean, you already know that. I'm your sister, and I'm always here for you. And
yeah.
we could go on broster dates like we used to.
Roaster.
Yeah, we'd be like, we're gonna go on a broster day and just like go to a movie or like freaking go to dinner, pick up food, and watch movies in like one of our rooms. And just because we're old doesn't mean that we can't do that anymore or that you're married. You could be like, all right, wifey, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Whew. Anyone want to add anything else?
I don't know. Oh, I guess like another way I deal with and this is going like way back to your original question, but you said like how do you deal with your mental health or whatever? But I feel like for me, like 99% of the time to get myself out of a funk is I listen to music. But it's the type of music that I don't put on shit like that's gonna pump me up and like
That's gonna make
I need
you
shit
cry.
that I could cry to, like
Oh, I feel that.
yeah, like I just
like old school Sam Smith and
not even that,
like worship music.
Yeah, I just like sometimes I'll throw on worship music or actually Jelly Roll just dropped a new song called I Am Not Okay.
Banger.
Yeah, it's a really good song. You
Yeah.
should check it out. Like that's a good song. I don't know. There's just a couple good songs that I'm like I gotta play this and
They like took what I was feeling and put it in a song.
yeah.
I could feel that. I do the same thing. I'll either like listen to music or I just get like lost in a book.
Oh yeah, that's my thing too. Is like, cause I don't read. I'm not very literate. I'm just kidding. I could read really good. I just choose not to. But I guess like the main way I've always dealt with like depression and stuff is through gaming.
That's a good way.
Like I just it puts your mind somewhere else and like I'm not depressed Anthony over here. I'm an OG thug in GTA like with my own motorcycle crew and stuff.
Or I'm hunting zombies in The Last of Us.
Yeah, or like it just throws you in a whole different world and it takes your mind off of all the other bullshit. So
I could agree with that.
and I think that's why I've been so fucking depressed lately because there ain't no fucking good games out for me to lose myself in. Like, alright, I was depressed 8 years ago and this game was out. Like, can I have something new?
Yeah. I used to be able to do that, like writing. Like I loved writing stories. I know that there's some listeners like that know me from writing stories. So I was fucking good at it, bro. Like
yeah, you had a lot of followers.
Yeah, I had like a couple thousand followers on this app and like no bullshit, like over 2-3 million people like would read my shit, and like I was able to like, cuz we're movie buffs and stuff, and I was able to like take inspiration from movies, but then like things that I was like dealing with or feeling at the time, and like throw it into a little short story, and like that was a good way for me to like use an outlet for just releasing everything that I was feeling. And then like once fucking COVID hit, it just like was so hard for me to like get into that headspace, and so bad lately I've been wanting to like get into writing again, and I've been slowly like trying to think of stuff.
Why not? Jot down some
Yeah.
ideas.
I've been but I want to get back into it cuz that was a good outlet to like
Yeah, just find a hobby to.
I think that's why I read so much now, like because writing was my outlet, but now like it's kind of hard to find inspiration or things like that. So like reading just like takes my mind off of bullshit. Like sometimes I'll throw on music and I'll listen to it while I'm reading a book, or like go onto YouTube and just put like those fucking like little ambiance videos and just like turn up the TV because we have a big TV at the house. So I just turn it on and just like sit there in the dark with the little ambiance thing going and just like read, and it helps me. I don't know, maybe you get into
Yeah, I was
reading.
like, maybe I should get. There's a book I want to get, but actually, I just found out I can get it on Spotify. It's,
I'll
Russ's book.
I'll teach you how to get books.
All right. I just feel like I need a physical book though.
Oh,
That's my hard thing. Is like I can't sit there and scroll on my phone.
no, you could put it on your iPad.
Well, yeah, same thing though.
I don't know.
I like to fill pages.
That's
I like
true.
to put my finger on the page and go along.
I just have my Kindle and like my iPad because I don't got room to put fucking books in my house. Maybe when I eventually move out, I'll have like a sick ass book collection along with my hats.
When I get older, I want to have a collection of something.
Get into collecting stuff. You used to do like fucking Funkos and stuff. Like, I don't know, go to the comic book store or something.
Tears.
Shut up. Yeah, that'd be cool. We could go to the freaking comic book store. We have that big ass one over by Grams.
I'm gonna go something like that.
That'd be cool.
Oh, they already did the Comic Con this year, I think.
They just had like the fan expo here this weekend.
Oh, okay, then that was it.
Yeah.
God damn it, I always miss those.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, just find something.
Oh.
Find something, you know, that could occupy your time. I think that's cool to be able to be like, all right, give me an hour or two. Like, tell your wife, give me an hour, and I'm just gonna sit there and game for an hour. Give me an hour, and I'm gonna read a book.
Yeah.
Like, start somewhere. And then if that doesn't help, then, you know, like, all right, I'm really gonna look into therapy.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it could help with, like, literally going out to try different foods could help your freaking mental health, or going and watching movies, or listening to music, reading a book, writing, drawing. You love to draw.
Yeah, it's just like anything to
occupy your mind with different thoughts than the shitty ones, I guess.
Yep. That's like or was it yesterday? Yeah, it was. I think yesterday I was in one of those moods too, like, oh, I don't want to do shit. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to see one. I don't want to talk to no one. But Lex was just like, you know, let's get out of the house for a little bit. Take the kids to this little thing. And at first I was like, I don't want to go. And then finally I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, let's get out of the house. And I think that was a good thing. I was like, just get out.
Cleared your mind for a little bit.
Yeah. Because, like, it's been a while since I've been in something like that.
Yeah.
And it was small, but it was something to do at least. Instead of being locked in a basement.
That's how I felt about the zoo, because at first I was like, ugh, I don't want to fucking go. I can't stand kids. I only love the ones that, are related to me. And
Yeah.
it's hot and it's a summer and I don't want to do anything, but I actually had fun to like see the kids like get excited to like see different animals and like
Yeah.
just take in like new surroundings and stuff. Like,
And that was like our daughter's like first time like on rides and stuff like that. And she had her cousins to go with her, so like it was just, what was it, 4 of them? Yeah, it was
yeah,
two
because the
boys and
baby
the 2
couldn't do
girls.
anything.
So yeah, it was like them 4, and they were just all riding all the rides together. So I mean, it was good to see her like having fun and
That's good.
hanging out with her cousins and stuff. Yeah.
Is that gonna do it?
Yep.
So hopefully you guys were able to, I don't know, learn something, feel something. I don't know. Something
Something.
with this episode. Told you it was gonna get a little deep, little heavy. I think we're very vulnerable in this one, so if you got comments, like fucking be nice with them. I don't know. Maybe I'll just disable comments for this episode.
Yeah.
We'll see. Um but yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. You can follow us at Graham's Porch on Instagram. Send an email at grahamsporchpod@gmail.com. You could find us on all streaming platforms, and you can find the links to those in our link tree, linktr.ee/Graham's Porch Podcast. We hope that you guys have a great week, that you stay safe, that your mental health is good, and that it's just a good one. I don't know what else to say. But we love you guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode. And like we always say, sleep with the angels.